Welcome back. It's Monday, March 13th in the NBA. My three favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. But first, we have a special guest. I think you know what it is. It's long overdue. The Brooms, a 3-0 sweep. I told you guys we were due some good luck going our way, and we got out the Broom. Daniel Gafford goes under, Dinwiddie goes over, and Mikal Bridges barely squeaks over with 25 on the hook. I know a lot of people had 25.5. I'm sorry he couldn't get that done. Damian Lillard voids he does not play, but we will take that. Let's go 3-0 again today, and the ladder challenge will return. So day one of the ladder will be live a little bit later on today as a YouTube short on TikTok, on Instagram. I'll post it on our Twitter. All those are at Calling Our Shot. Make sure you go follow us there. And if you are new, welcome to the Calling Our Shot community. My name is Austin. If you want to do me a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. I think we're almost at 163,000 subscribers. You guys have been showing a ton of love. I certainly appreciate it. Now, I don't promote this too often, but we have access to a ton of different exclusive sign-up bonuses for different major sports books. So guys like FanDuel, DraftKings, PointsBet, UniBet, BetMGM, Bet365, all of those are available at dimers.com/COS. I don't really promote this exact one. Normally, I just pick one to promote, but we have a ton of different access points. So if you want to take advantage of that, top link in the description. This is kind of what a screenshot of what the whole site looks like. You can have different access to a bunch of different ones. I always say it's important to have a bunch of different sports books just because the lines, as you know, change quickly on different sports books. Some go slower, some have different lines than others, so it's always good to line shop. So if you ever want to take advantage of those, it's also a great way to support me by using those links, but I'd appreciate it. Top link in the description, dimers.com/COS. Let's get into our favorite plays. Let's go 3-0. Start with the guy that I really do like. I love him as a player and as a person. Jaren Jackson Jr. over 19.5 points, -110 on FanDuel. Now, Jaren, you might not know him off the court, but he's a pretty cool guy, and I like this at 20.5 as well. But if you want to take like 20-plus points, maybe on FanDuel or DraftKings, I don't mind maybe a Tyus Jones 10-plus points as a same-game parlay juice reducer, because I think Tyus can get you 10. Now, lines are sharp these days, as we know. We see things ending on the hook left and right. Sometimes it's for the benefit of us, sometimes not. Sometimes a lot of people lose when it ends on the hook. It's just the nature of the business. But let's talk about JJJ, and hopefully he crushes this line out of the water. Now, him and the Grizzlies are on the road to face the Mavericks. This is a rematch from Saturday, but that time they were in Memphis, now they're in Dallas. But in that game, we saw JJJ score a big 14 points. So he went under, shot 3 for 12, 0 for 5 from 3, and he only scored 2 points in the first half. He only hit 3 fouls. He played 20 minutes in the second half, but 2 points in the first half. Hard to hit an over at 20 points when you're only scoring 2 in the first half. But he had a pretty decent second half despite not shooting well. And prior to that game, we had seen him hit this over in 3 straight with 24, 26, and 21 points. So he's been pretty good. Obviously, John Morant still out. Steven Adams still out. Brandon Clark out for the season. So out of the end of the day, they're going to play him a lot of minutes, and that's good as long as he can avoid foul trouble. I think he can in this matchup. Now, for the Mavericks side, Kyrie Irving might return today. This game's a pick'em, so I anticipate he does return. But either way, I think the Mavericks keep this close. Luka Doncic will still be out, but we've talked about since Kyrie's arrival, and even if Kyrie isn't out there, this roster is more or less the same. But over the last 10 games, the Mavericks, 4th worst defensive rating, allowed the 3rd most points per game in the paint, and that's where JJJ does his damage. He's going to drive, get to the rim, and they really don't have a good guy to match up against him. Now, last game, he shot 5 threes. He missed all 5 of them. And we know he can knock down threes. If JJJ is knocking down threes, he probably hits this with ease, but we also know he can get in the paint, get to the free throw line, had 9 free throw attempts last game. Dwight Powell, who knows what his minutes are. Maxi Kleber coming off the bench. Who knows what he plays. Christian Wood, they really don't like him as a defender. So I think there's no great matchup for JJJ out there. In fact, they started Reggie Bullock at the 4 last game. It's not going to work against a guy that's almost 7 feet tall. I like JJJ to bounce back, get us 20 points. Hopefully he does it quickly. We'll take ride with the Triple J over 19.5 points. Now let's keep it moving to an ESPN game. This is a big time one. It's the Warriors versus Suns. It's the one of the latest games on the slate. I like Devin Booker over 36.5 points plus assists, -111 on Caesars. Now before you go and you play 37.5, which it might be at, I'm going to give you a couple different pivots. Now number one, you could take his PRA line. I wouldn't call you crazy there if you want to do that. You could also, if you have a same game parlay, maybe like 30 plus points, 4 plus assists. I think that's a pretty decent one. And if you just want to take his points line, I wouldn't call you crazy there. Because at the end of the day, 36.5 points plus assists, you're not getting a Dinwiddie line where Booker drops 16 assists. That ain't happening. You're going to need Devin Booker to at least score like 27 points to have a good chance of hitting this. But let's talk about Booker. Over the last 5 games, been pretty decent. 37.7 assists, 35.6 assists. The list goes on and on. Hit this over in 4 of his last 5. His only miss when he dropped 28 points and 8 assists versus the Kings, ending on the hook with 36 on the dot. Now in that game, we saw Booker get in foul trouble in the second half. I think he had 5 fouls in the second half, and he only saw 6 field goal attempts. He ended with 19 field goal attempts. He had 13 in the first half, only 6 in the second half. No surprise to see the Kings beat the Suns in that one, but I expect Booker to bounce back here against the Warriors, who I'm going to be honest, the Warriors don't play a lot of defense these days. They're a better defensive team at home, but I still think the Suns can stay in this game. The over-under is 238. They're going to set it high because the Warriors play fast pace, and I think that's great for Booker. If he can get in transition, get to the rim, get to the free throw line, that's where we want to see him. Andrew Wiggins still out due to personal reasons. Hopefully everything's good for him. He's been out for a while. Hopefully everything's good for him mentally, but at the end of the day, Booker, I know he's going to go out there and shoot 20 times. I mean, this is a guy in a fast-paced matchup. He's going to be firing it up, especially after only 19 shots last game, coming off a loss. He's going to be shooting it, but also over the last 7 games, averaged 7.3 assists per game on 12.6 potential assists. So the assists are there. It's a fast-paced game. He's probably going to get their best defender, but maybe that's Dante DiVincenzo, but even he doesn't play a ton of minutes. Jordan Poole might be out there. I just don't trust this team defensively. The Warriors, that is. I like Booker. He's going to play if they're losing. Even if they're not losing, if this isn't a blowout, he's going to play like 36, 38, 40 minutes. I think you can fill up the stat sheet right with the over in points plus assists. Some games, I don't mind his PRAs, but some games you get Booker grabbing like 3 reps. So I'd rather just take points plus assists because those are 2 things that he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. We'll ride with Booker to have a big night. He's on the thumbnail for a reason. Suns are underdogs. Booker, ball hog mode. That's what we asked for. Take his over, 36.5 points plus assists. And for my third and final play of the day, it will be an under. We're going to start incorporating some more unders here. Yesterday smacked. Hopefully this one smacked. It's going to be Killian Hayes of the Detroit Pistons under 14.5 points, minus 115 on Bet365. Now, personally, I don't really want to go much lower than 14.5. If I would rather just stay at 14.5. If it goes to 14, maybe on like a PrizePicks or an Underdog Fantasy, don't mind it there. But 13.5, we know these lines can be sharp. I'd probably play 13.5 for a half a unit. But like I said, this could be a big change going from 14.5 to 13.5, where it is like 36.5 to 37.5 for Booker is a little bit different. Now, everyone, and I mean everyone, I go onto Twitter, everyone is on Killian Hayes assists over. Like, look, I don't mind anyone taking his assists over at 7.5. I don't call you crazy, but I'd much rather fade Killian Hayes because I don't think Hayes is good. Like, if he's watching this video, brother, I just don't think you're very good. I mean, Killian Hayes on the year, averaging 9.5 points per game, shooting 36.8% from the field, 29.2% from 3. Look, he's not good. He's just not. I saw a clip right before this. He fired it up past the backboard. This guy's, I just don't think he's very good. And if there's anything I've learned about the Pistons, is that even Dwayne Casey doesn't care about your props. He will play a guy for 35 minutes one game, the next game, boom, you get 15 minutes. Dwayne Casey just does not care. But let's talk about why Hayes' line is 14.5. Yeah, last game he played 37 minutes, 17 shots, 17 points. Sure, great job. But look, Killian Hayes, to be honest, he's not really a guy that's going to fill up the basket. He's just not a good shooter. And at the end of the day, he's under this line in 14 of his last 25 games with 10 or more field goal attempts. I'm taking it into account that he's going to shoot the ball probably 10 times. If Killian Hayes does not shoot the ball 10 times, we probably hit this pretty easily, but I think he's going to at least shoot 10 times because the Pistons are still banged up, but still under this in a majority of the games where he's shooting 10 or more times. And that was games where he probably wasn't the only guy out there who's probably going to be out there. He was shooting because he was actually making shots. Now he's kind of forced into a way where he kind of has to shoot to score for this offense, but I just don't trust him. I just think he's not that great. I've seen him shoot 1 for 11, 0 for 6, 0 for 7 way too many times. I think the Pacers, a team that just shot 9 for 35 from 3, still won that game, but they shot terribly from the field. They're still down some injured guys, but maybe they shoot better tonight. Maybe the Pistons get blown out. It wouldn't surprise me at all. The Pistons are not a very good team. I know they're down a lot of injuries, and people might say, you're going to take this without Jaden Ivey, Bojan Bogdanovic, and all these different guys. Yeah, because I don't think Killian Hayes is that guy. I just don't think he's a 15-point scorer in the NBA. If he wants to go out there and shoot well from the field, or maybe the volume's ridiculous, sure, but I don't see him shooting 17 times again. Maybe he shoots in the 11, 12, 13 range, and I just don't trust him to score 15 points. I'll fade him. I'll take his under 14.5 points, and I can live with it. I can sleep at night taking his unders, whereas if you take his overs, he plays 20 minutes, you're like, why did Dwayne Casey do this? Well, that's just the Pistons for you. That's what they do. So those are my 3 favorite plays of the day. I appreciate you guys for coming out here. I got to lean in a second. So we're riding with, obviously, the first one, JJJ's over in points. Devin Booker's over in points plus assists. And Killian Hayes under 14.5 points. I wouldn't take Killian Hayes under an assist. I think that's a decent play, but I'd rather take his under in points. Of lean, I did consider Tyler Hero's over in points or 3-pointers. Not a bad one. I think that's pretty decent. Or maybe a Jimmy Butler under 24.5 points. I know Jimmy's been really good, but this Jazz team just puts 3 centers basically out there. Larry Markin is kind of your third center, but he's more of a power forward. But this team, I think this lines up for Tyler Hero to have a big night, and maybe Jimmy takes the night off. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights, so maybe Jimmy doesn't have a great night. I don't mind Jimmy's under in points, or maybe Tyler Hero to have a pretty good night, good bounce back spot. But appreciate you guys. I'm not going to beride any of Hero or Butler. All my 3 plays are the ones you already talked about. A reminder, Dimers.com/COS. You can get all those different sportsbook sign-up links if you want them. Go take advantage of them. Top link in the description for PointsBet, UniBet, BetMGM, Bet365, DraftKings, FanDuel, all those and more. Just check that link in the description. Appreciate you guys as always. Have a great Monday. Let's go 3-0 again. Let's bring out this bad boy. And I will see you guys back again Tuesday morning. And I will see you in day one of the ladder challenge live a little bit later on today. Appreciate you guys. Have a great Monday. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.